Hello my friends and welcome back to Lori's Journey. I am going to have some waffles for breakfast that I made, high protein waffle, and I just want to show you that you can make waffles out of absolutely anything. And I will show you a banana waffle recipe next, but let's have a look at what I've been up to with my little waffle iron. Apple cinnamon waffles. That's what I'm going to have for breakfast. So I'm going to pop 2 of those in and get them going. I made these last night. Now, like I said, you can make waffles with anything. Broccoli and cauliflower waffles with cheese. That veggie tray I got from the food bank it had cauliflower and the broccoli in it. Boiled it, mashed it, and put it in with the wet stuff for broccoli cauliflower waffles. Just a vanilla waffle. Yes, even cabbage. These are cabbage and onion waffles. I think that's all I have in there right now. So we can turn anything into a waffle. And I just want to show you the concept, how I do this. Instead of making up a video for every single flavor, I'm going to show you how to make waffles and how to just switch up the flavors. All right. So how I start my waffles is I first start with my dry ingredients. This is the base for all my recipes for waffles. It's 1.5 cups of flour. It's 4 scoops or 2 servings of vanilla protein powder. It's 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and it's a teaspoon of salt. That's our base, okay? Then I go over to the wet ingredients. We can put any wet ingredients we want into our dry ingredients to make different flavors. This one here is banana. All of my waffle recipes for wet have 1 cup of cottage cheese, 2 eggs, and then whatever other fruit or I'd like to put in. I put bananas in this one, about 2 bananas. We're just making some wet stuff. So I also, in a lot of my waffle recipes, will add in 3/4 of a cup of white kidney beans or 3/4 of a cup of chickpeas. You're just making some wet ingredients to add to your dry. If I want to make chocolate, I'm going to add Friar's cocoa, just the cocoa powder. I would probably put about 2/3 of a cup. I haven't made the chocolate ones yet. It's something that I'm gonna do. So I would probably try 2/3 of a cup of cocoa powder. And I would swap that vanilla protein powder out for chocolate protein powder. That wouldn't take a sweetener because of the cocoa powder. For a sweetener, if you want it, you would add some maple syrup. If you want it sweeter, I don't like things very sweet, but if you'd want them sweeter, you would add honey instead. And you would probably add about 1/2 cup of honey or 1/2 cup of maple syrup if you were going to do the chocolate and the chocolate protein powder. Again, all the wet ingredients, 1 cup cottage cheese, 2 eggs, and some beans if you'd like. Now for the chocolate, I would put red kidney beans in or black kidney beans. We're just gonna blend it and make a wet ingredients. So I know this one's really thick, so I'm gonna have to add some water because I accidentally grab the dry cottage cheese curds instead of the regular cottage cheese. So I know I'm gonna have to add some water to this one. And then we just put it in our waffle iron. Again, we only put a small amount in the center. Each batch, depending on the ingredients you're using, will really fluff up, some more than others. So you want to do your first waffle to test how much it's going to poof up, because I've had it come right down the sides by putting too much batter in. And another thing with the like when I used cauliflower and broccoli, I boiled it, I pre-boiled it, I mashed it, and then I added it as part of the wet ingredients, and I also put in a bunch of cheese on that one. So that was really good, but the base was the vanilla protein powder flour base. For the cabbage and onion, same thing, I pre-fried the cabbage and onion, and then I added that to my wet, into my dry stuff, and then still added my cottage cheese and eggs. And if you need to water it down a bit, you have some bit of water on the side. But that is how I am doing all my waffle recipes. Pre-boil or pre-fry veggies that you want to put into them. And they're just turning out amazing. The broccoli and cauliflower turned out so good, you guys. And I put in, nice, at least a cup of shredded cheese in that one, and they were so good. How do I use these? Well, the plain ones, the vanilla protein powder, the plain ones I tend to use with fruit. I'll put blueberries in yogurt, or raspberries in yogurt, cherries in yogurt, any fruit. And I just put it in yogurt and put them on top, and then I usually put some whipping cream. The savory ones, I'll go use as a hamburger bun. I will just toast them and have them on the side with some hard-boiled eggs. It's just great to have all this food ready in the fridge, and they're all high protein because we've got our protein powder, we've got our eggs, and we've got our cottage cheese. Now, if you don't eat eggs, you don't have to put eggs in. It will still work. So you can use just egg whites if you want. We're just getting some wet liquids into the dry. And the key is to have that baking powder as well as the cottage cheese. So I'm gonna get this whipped up, and we will show you one round in the waffle iron. Okay, so my waffle iron is heating up. We're gonna put a quarter of a cup. This is what I find has worked, is just using a quarter of a cup and actually measuring it and setting it in the center. Now, some of the savory ones you can spread out a bit that have the veggies, but we're just gonna stick that in there. So another thing is I plan on making some with hamburger. I got that big package of hamburger from the food bank, so I'm gonna fry it all up. I'm gonna add beans, I'm gonna add corn, whatever into the pan, and then I'm gonna split it up into 3 different flavors. I'm gonna put cumin in one, and some spices, savory spices. Another one I'm gonna do taco seasonings, and another one I'm gonna do chili powders. So then I will make 3 batches out of that hamburger and mixture, and then they'll all be frozen. So I have many different flavors to choose from, and they will all be done. See, look at this waffle iron, look how it's puffing up. They'll all be done with this base, and then I'll just add some spices. I can add additional spices into my dry ingredients, and I can also add additional spices when I'm cooking. But because I'm making 3 different flavors, it's all going to be cooked, and then the spice will go into the dry ingredients. And then I will have savory meat and bean waffles as well. It's just, I'm on a kick, you guys. I go on these kicks, but the waffle thing is amazing, absolutely amazing. And I definitely want to get a bigger waffle iron, 100%. so I'm not standing here for hours doing one waffle at a time. When I did the apple cinnamon waffles last night, I grated the apples. I used 4 small apples. I grated them, skin and all, and had them in one bowl. That one I did add half a cup of brown sugar to, in with the apples, and 3 teaspoons of cinnamon in with the apples. The dry ingredients were the same as this. I also added some cinnamon to the dry ingredients because I really wanted them very cinnamony. But other than that, it was the same. It's the same. Get some wet, get some dry. Sky's the limit. You can do what you want. So we're watching this waffle. We're gonna have a little peek at it. Look at that. There we go. Get ourselves a plate to put it on. And there's our banana waffle. I need a knife to do that. So I can put maybe a bit more batter in this one. But, banana protein waffle. Okay, here I am cooking up the bean waffles, I guess, with the meat that I cooked up. That's half the hamburger out of that package I had. And I added 1 can of rinsed red kidney beans, 1 can of rinsed black beans, 1½ onions, half a can of corn, and half a can of diced tomatoes. I then added cumin, curry, and turmeric. And now I have a waffle ready to go. I put some of the toppings on top, and I've garnished it with some sour cream. That made a lot. And I'm gonna use the other half of the hamburger with taco seasoning, red kidney beans, black beans, onions, and corn again, and tomatoes. This can also be eaten. Put some hummus on here, just like that. You can just have sour cream on it. You can just have butter on it. So very, very versatile. These leftovers can either go on top of the waffle, or you can have it as over some rice if you eat rice. Just one way to make your food stretch and have it full of protein. And our scripture verse for the day is, "Let all who take refuge in you be glad, let them sing for joy." Psalm 5:11. Slow and steady wins the race. A penny saved is a penny earned.